All right, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of the program. Merely Bo and the Great Bo. You're in my uniform.
Yeah, a little
This
vest,
is so great.
little vest, a little hoodie.
I love it.
I did this. No, don't.
Oh, we're on the outs.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
sorry.
on the rocks, dude. After
the rocks.
after the shenanigans that you pulled last night.
For those not on social,
you posted a great Gladiator clip.
Well, yes, and I said that might be the best baseball game I've ever seen. And you responded to it.
Well, you had said it was the.
Are
you
you
not
not
entertained? I said
entertained?
I am in fact entertained.
That's right. And then I said some of the effect of the best one.
You said it was good, but not as good as this.
You have a better recollection.
Yeah,
you tell it.
Yeah, because it's traumatic. It's burned into my brain.
And
with Kirk Gibson running around the bases, I said, "Get out of here. We're on the rocks." So I came today.
I don't even know if we can do this show.
I came today to the only good feelings I can have about you right now are wearing a bow outfit, a vest with a little hoodie underneath.
Yeah.
And I've never worn this before.
You look great.
Dude, I've gotten like so many
Of
compliments.
course you have.
It's unbelievable.
Of course you have.
Although Siciliano is like, you can't wear your Masters thing. I'm like, listen, Previtt's got this for me.
Of course you can.
I'm going to wear it.
No, it's gorgeous. Yeah, you're going to get a lot. It's a very flattering look. Look at you. You look fantastic.
The flattery will, okay, fine. We're
Was
not
that-
on the rocks anymore.
I'm back, baby.
You're back.
Obviously,
By the way, is Bootsy off school today?
yeah, it's crazy.
Ugh.
Were they screwing around this morning
No,
while I was doing my work? and you were-
I got my phone was getting blown up with him inviting me to an Xbox party at like 9:30 or maybe it was 10, and I unfortunately
Putting
had
in
to
a
go.
day, Bo.
So I didn't have
Putting in a
to.
day.
I didn't have to. I couldn't answer. But I was like wondering. I'm like, he must be off school today. And sure enough, I wish I had more time at home.
You know-
we would have been out in the streets getting Vicks.
He's well, it would have been exciting for him to have you there because he's got these little buddies that he plays with, and he's constantly feels like he has to carry them. Like I'll hear his conversations in the distance upstairs.
Dude, you're selling.
Dude, what are you doing? You're selling. Get up here.
Let me tell you
And so,
something.
like, if all of a sudden you paratrooped in, your abilities at that game significantly outnumber his.
And I'm terrible.
And he's significantly outnumbering his buddies. So, like, all of a sudden, if like he's running around the streets with you, and these other little kids are like,
Oh man, it would have been great. Maybe this afternoon.
do you remember when you guys got the first Vic?
Oh, dude, it was a great.
It's an unbelievable moment.
It was a great moment.
I don't know why they're off. They were off last week, Thursday, Friday, and then they're off today. I don't know why. I don't know. Last week was fall break.
Do they think education?
Couple weeks, it's election
they
day.
think
Like every
education's
week, it's a
overrated?
4-day week.
It's always 4 day. That's all they do is Wisconsin 4-day week.
4-day week wins.
I don't know what they're doing. All right, we've got obviously a lot of football, plenty of fun ahead of you.
By the way, we're on fire. We really are. We're so back.
We are so back on the picks.
We're so back. It feels good. It feels good to be back.
It feels great to be back.
What an embarrassing
to feel it
game.
again. I didn't watch a second of it.
I only watched maybe 5 minutes after the Guardians game, which was incredible, and I hope we
We're
going to
get
that for a second.
Yep.
I watched 5 minutes, and then I saw my guy Javonte Williams scamper in the end zone. I'm like, let's go, baby. I'm good. I had in all my leagues, I only had Javonte and the Denver D in one of them.
Yep.
And they scored like a combined 48 points.
Yeah,
which is
was
great.
solid. Yeah.
And and the only person I played against in that game, it's bad when whole fantasy leagues really have nobody playing.
True.
Literally nobody.
Nobody. Yeah.
Because all of the receivers now in New Orleans are wiped out.
Yep.
So, and I played against Kamara in 3 leagues. Alvin Kamara in a PPR league did something I have never seen. He had 6 catches in the game and I think scored 7 points in a full PPR. Maybe scored eight points.
What was the yardage on the
I think
6?
he had 6 catches for 14 yards and like 10 carries for 10 yards rushing, something like that. And he's like, I don't blame the fans. Somebody get him out of there. Dallas, that feels like a Jera. Get him
good.
Bring him to Dallas.
Bring him to Dallas. Get some help.
Yeah, he can still play.
I didn't watch any of it.
didn't miss anything.
We decided to do it's kind of our one night where we didn't have anything. So we did like a family dinner. Went out and had a nice meal, and then watched the Guardians game. And then I had to keep an eye a little bit on the hockey team down in Columbus, and I was watching the Dodgers a little bit too for my youth. Kind of getting a little bit of baseball fever at the moment because the stuff's been so entertaining.
Oh man,
I don't know. It's funny. Like all kidding aside, like that in my head, that was the greatest baseball game ever played. The Gibson one. Okay, as a kid, in my head, I'm 10. Like, come on, you're a kid.
you're killing me, dude.
But
You're killing me.
because you're a kid. And so in your mind's eye, I have no idea if it was or not. I don't even really remember much of the game. I just remember the end of it.
Same. That's all you need to
that's
remember.
that's all you remember. The more I thought about what happened last night, I mean, it's as good as any baseball game I've ever seen. When you factor in, Clase gives it up to their two Goliaths, and then it's bottom of the 9, 2 outs against Weaver, and then it's
with
bottom of
on.
the 10. It's bottom of the 10th with 2 outs.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to beat. And the scoring, it wasn't like a 1-0 game. Like there was excitement before that. And it kind of checked every box.
And Judge was with 2 outs, and Stanton was with 2 outs. So there are 162 regular season baseball games a year for each team. So there are many. I can't even imagine how many thousands of baseball games are played in the history of baseball. Hundreds of thousands.
Lots.
That's the first time. I saw this on Twitter. It must be true. But I saw it from a legit.
Multiple people, so it's really got to be true.
It's the first time in the history of a game, regular season or postseason, that there have been 4 different game-tying or lead-changing 2-out home runs hit 8th inning and later.
Well, then I think it is the greatest baseball game that's ever been played.
Certainly, it's when Naylor hit that double play, it was over. And of course, as I've said a few times, wasn't able to be in attendance because of the Kevin Stefanski show. We had a wonderful time at Slim and Chubby's.
Oh, I bet they were transfixed by every word you said.
So we're having to kind of like give updates because in case there were a few out there listening to the program, we had to give updates. And so here we are. All right, top of the 8th, 2 outs, 3-1. We got 4 outs to go.
Yep.
And then I was like, 2-run homer, Judge. Ah!
Yep.
Home run stand. Sorry. And then the crazy thing was, that's 40 minutes from my domicile.
Yeah.
I was home to watch the bottom of the 9th. That's how long it took to get from the top of the 8th.
Wow.
To the bottom of the 9th. So I saw the double play. I walked in on the double play, then saw off the top of the fence, then Noel, homer, and then obviously was able to watch the rest of it. But like I saw that in my home.
That's wild.
40 some minutes later, and we still had another segment to go when Judge and Stanton hit those home runs. And D-Hop was on with us, and they were like, I got this guy off the radio. As soon as he shows up, they're all hitting home runs.
Everyone's hitting bombs. It was amazing.
You're back in it now.
And that's the other part of it. It was you were about ready to be down 3-0,
which is
so you're cooked.
Yeah.
No, it was special. It's special, and that there is something that baseball provides, and that no other sport does, and it's the 27 outs. There's no clock. You have to do this. If you don't do this, the game doesn't end. And so
similar to golf in that way. Like you have to play 72 holes. Like
you're exactly right. You have to.
You have
to
play them.
Yes, and you don't know what's even. It's funny. That's interesting. That's a good one for you to bring up because I hadn't thought of it in that respect. But even in the Masters, if a guy is up like 2 shots going to 18, I get nervous, and I think like, buddy, come on, buddy, just get a bogey and get the hell out of there.
Van de Velde.
Right. You have to play all. You got to play 72.
Yeah,
all the way through, and that's until you do that, it ain't over. And that's baseball has that. There aren't many that do that have it. There's no other team sport that has it that way. So yeah, no, it was great. It was stunning, and so you'll get Game 4 tonight, which will be a lot of fun. Obviously, this weekend is nuts here.
Yeah,
tonight, tomorrow night, and then us on Sunday.
I would encourage you to use public
Hall
transportation tomorrow night.
Is this Rock Hall weekend?
Yes, at
Saturday.
Romo tomorrow night. Same time.
Saturday.
Hey, Dave Matthews. I love you guys. I've seen you 28 times. How about
DMB's
a pop-up
going
concert
in?
tonight?
Dude,
How about a
DMB,
pop-up concert
Mary
tonight?
J. Blige.
That's all I wanted.
They should do a pop-up tonight.
Green
They
Day
love
did
to
it a
play.
couple of years ago when they were here. I'm like, give me a little something.
They should
the
do
F-
that. Yeah, and they love. I mean, nobody loves to play more than them. Yeah.
DMB.
It's killing me.
Mary J. Blige. Foreigner. Ozzy Osbourne.
Who is getting the hotel priority?
I don't know. The Yankees are at the Ritz.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of rooms at the Ritz, but like I assume the Rock and Roll Hall people are at the Ritz, and that's probably been booked for a year. Like I'm sure they
I don't know
hold
where
it.
the
could be at
Bengals
that
are
Hilton.
staying.
They could be at that Hilton.
Bengals, I bet, would be Hilton. That's my guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a lot of A-listers.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
By the way, would you like to know what it sounded like on the Kevin Stefanski show?
Yes, I would.
Here's the Judge Homer. Kevin?
Let's talk about the dynamic kickoff. First of all, is it dynamic? Do you think the league is getting what they want out of the dynamic kickoff?
So I told you, I'm not a numbers guy, so... Oh, no.
Oh, no. Aaron Judge, opposite field home run. It is 3-3.
Dang, that was a two-runner?
Off of Class A. Star versus Star. And that was out by an inch that barely made it over the wall. Well, that wasn't dynamic
Right
either.
right after
As soon as you say dynamic, that
kickoff.
happens. Oh,
Yeah.
Baseball Nate doing play-by-play. You want to hear the second one?
Then you had to do play-by-play for the other one?
Yeah,
Oh,
give me the
God.
second
The
one.
whole bar was like, oh.
Give me the second one. Give me Stan.
What's
didn't know.
interesting is now with the penalty, the line in which the players who are covering is not pushed back. It's the kicker is pushed back, but essentially the play's the same. Oh, no.
Oh, goodness gracious. The Yankees have gone back-to-back. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, both opposite field off of Class A.
yeah.
Wow, and we have to take a break,
Yeah.
and when we come back the next time we talk to you, hopefully things will be better.
I feel like we need
right.
the Guardians highlights to feel better after having to listen back.
Yeah.
We didn't have any on the show. I had
He's in
I
real
had
time.
I had time to drive home 40 minutes.
You can laugh about it because of course
they won.
it ends the way that it does. What's crazy about it is, obviously that's what you do in the situation. You're a huge B, of course you do that. But the thing that's crazy is I was actually curious what Hopkins' answer on that question. The
Is it
dynamic
dynamic?
kick,
Yeah.
because we talked
No,
about
we
like,
got back to it, and then I gave him a little. We were teasing him about since we won the game, going over the line. And he said he felt bad that he took away Winston Reed's fumble. He said, "But it's dumb." But then he tried to play it off though. The next time we saw him go over and hop back, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't do that." I'm like,
Yeah, he was
you sure
adamant.
did.
I'm like, no.
You sure did.
Yeah, you did.
sure did.
Did he tell you what? Did he give you an idea of where he would have to line up to kick it in order for it to be dynamic?
Yes, he said 20 he thinks would be fine. If you want, he said the 10 would be for sure. They would all be land in that zone.
And then you would get the return, which is what.
But what he did say, what's interesting is because of the way that it works now, they can kind of take a field goal approach to kicking off. And it's actually significantly easier on their body. So like he said, he wouldn't be a fan of them backing up to 10 where you've got to really run and full swing, smoke it to get it out there.
I never thought of it in that respect. Yeah, that's great. It was really cool night and awesome night.
And
to
the
be
Yankees were
downtown.
something like 177-1.
I think it's
They're now 2.
There's something like 171-2 or something like that, and both with us.
Both are
Yeah.
the Guardians. Yeah.
I didn't even know the final score of the game till this morning. I was like, what was the final score? And then I
Was it
looked, I was like
7-5?
7-5.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's what I mean.
I
It's-
don't even.
because that's the other thing though. It wasn't like it wasn't 4-2.
No,
it
It was a lot of action.
It was
There was
3-1.
there was a lot going on.
it was a heavyweight fight.
It was 3-1, then 4-3. Then they get the extra, they get the cushion run.
Yeah.
In the top of the ninth, 5-3, 2-run, 5-5, 7-5. Yeah.
Yeah, it had everything.
We're screwing the pooch on the rundown in
Oh,
the
my
ninth.
goodness.
I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
done.
but you could have tuned into Gardos all the time. You would have known the final score.
Yeah, Gibbs, you're driving home, Gibby.
Yeah.
Jeez, shame on you.
Come
Gibby.
on. Sad.
So the official Nana was at
DVR'd
the.
it.
She was at the game?
No, she was
On
swimming.
the third baseline.
She was swimming.
But unbelievable.
Although the lady that got the ball in the stand, somebody put that looked a lot like the official Nana. I'm like, was Nana at the game last
Was she
night?
there?
What's
Are you
going on?
leading a double life?
Yeah.
I didn't buy you that hoodie.
She's at the pool, and she looked at the score, and she's just making a little pool conversation, and she
Yeah.
says to some guy, she's like, what a great game last night. And he's like, what, are you a Yankees fan? And she's like, no. She's like, the Guardians won. He goes, no, they didn't. And she's like, wait. She goes, she calls some other guy over. So I guess the guy
This is the one guy in
thought
the
it was
world who doesn't
over.
have a phone?
No, he thought it was over when I think Naylor hit in the double play and turned his TV off and went to bed pissed. And then he said his daughter texted him that he got a text when he woke up saying, what an amazing game the Guardians won. And he's like, what's wrong with you? No, they didn't.
And between that from his daughter and the conversation with Nana, at no point did he just
No, then
grab
he
it-
realized after the conversation with Nana, everybody chimed
Right,
in.
but up until that
No.
point, he was like, just didn't double check.
No, he made it to the pool without checking because he knew he was right.
You know, he's right. It was great. So game 4 tonight, Game 5 will be tomorrow night. Rock Hall tomorrow night. Our game 1
And this
o'clock Sunday.
I feel like this should be an baseball. Nate's actually now you've
I'm
got
kinda
my
jacked
attention.
up.
Now you've got my attention. So both of these pitchers haven't pitched, I think, since September.
Okay.
The last time Gill pitched, he's given up at least 5 runs each of his last 2 starts, and then our guy's given up 11 runs in his last 17 innings. Both bullpens are absolutely shot.
They're washed. Yeah.
This could be
12 to 10.
this should not be dull.
No, I wouldn't think. Yeah. Yeah. And
Shouldn't be glum.
No. It's good. So that was all very good last night. So I didn't check out the football. Part of that too was by the time I remembered that it was on, it was already out of control. I think it was 16-3 at half, and it's like, well, I knew the scores were going to win, and then I had Denver's defense, and well, that works out quite well for me on that side of things. Our final practice of the week is going on right now. Should be wrapping up right about now as well. In terms of who is out there and who is not practicing today, Ethan Posick for the second straight day, still not practicing. Jerome Ford and Ronnie Hickman. We should have the final injury report in about 10 minutes from now.
Yeah, could be Thornhill. See if he gets activated. Posick trending in the right direction, obviously, so that's good.
The news of the day as we were going off air yesterday was the news of the Brook Park Dome as well. This is something that obviously the excitement that I have for this thing is
great.
Off the charts. What it will do for this region, what it will do for this franchise, what it will do for fans. If you've not been to Minneapolis, if you've not been to Dallas or Atlanta or Indy for a game, not only is it an incredibly enjoyable experience in terms of going and sitting in a climate control and being able to watch your favorite team, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be louder.
Yes.
Right now, the way our stadium is designed, the volume escapes out.
That's right.
It's a lot like the Horseshoe in that way, where the volume escapes out.
That's why Seattle built theirs the way that they did as an
Correct.
outdoor stadium with the curved roof.
Yeah, and on the college side, they have it in State College. They built it kind of up and out.
Oh, baby.
And that's what you're going to get. You are going to get a loud, raucous, comfortable, beautiful.
It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. I'm so excited for it.
And the surrounding area is going to be amazing. The investment in Northeast Ohio, the events that it will bring, it's going to be incredible.
I remember talking to Gene Smith, the then athletic director at Ohio State, this is 4 or 5 years ago about this. And I said, it's really a shame that every time you guys play a Big Ten championship, you have to go to Indianapolis to do so. And this was right when the college football playoff was going on. And the way that it's going to be, those first round games, if your seeds 5 through 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are all home site games. And Gene had said, look, I don't know if we're going to play a game at Ohio Stadium in December. I don't know if we're equipped to do that. I don't know if it's winterized to be able to do that at that time of year. And he said, it's very likely we could be having to do this in Indy. And the one thing that he always lamented was, why is there not a dome in the state of Ohio? What the hell, man? Like, you've got the state with these 3 major cities. You have all of the things. It's an incredible sports state, one of the best in the union. Get us a dome.
Do it.
And you're going to have all of those things. You're going to get Buckeye playoff games. You are going to get Big Ten championship games. You're going to get college football playoff games, college football semifinal games, college football national championship games. You're going to get Final Fours, WrestleManias, major concert venues anytime you want.
Preach.
All of this stuff is now coming, and in addition to that, and what matters most, because this is Cleveland Browns Daily, is your Browns experience is going to be through the roof.
Through the roof. That's right.
We currently have a stadium where you have 2 ways where you can kind of get in. Not ideal.
No, ingress, egress, very challenging.
No. So
this
I
is
love
gonna
it. Do you
be-
have this statement from the Haslams? I don't know if we have it in there.
I do. I mean, if you'd like me to read it, I will. It's quite robust.
Are there some highlights?
Would you like me to?
Maybe some highlights.
I didn't get the.
I thought it was-
Gibbe didn't highlight it for me, unfortunately.
I thought it was. Sometimes they do a segment called "The Real Truth," and this is, I think, the real truth.
Here it is. I'll do it as quickly as I can.
You do all of it. Maybe highlights. I want you to. All right, you're talking about 6 paragraphs. Let's go. You pick the ones that tell the story the best in your mind.
Okay.
Because I trust
Our
you.
stadium
absolutely.
planning process started in 2017, and as Mayor Bibb mentioned today, for the last 2 years, we have had positive, productive, and collaborative dialogue with the mayor and his staff working together to find the optimal long-term solution for our stadium. We pursued many possibilities. The initial focus was on renovating the stadium. We also explored building a new stadium on multiple sites, both in and outside of Cleveland. We've learned through our exhaustive work that renovating our current stadium will simply not solve many operational issues and would be a short-term fix. It also wouldn't be worth the investment there. They have talked about Burke, but that is not possible for a variety of reasons. The design, construction, and geotechnical environmental challenges were, again, apparent. So they've communicated with the mayor every step of the process, and our most impactful investment for our region is to focus on making a dome stadium and adjacent development in Brook Park a reality. With the funding mechanisms we continue to work on, the stadium will not use existing taxpayer-funded streams that would divert resources from other more pressing needs. Instead, the over $2 billion private investment together with the public investment will create a major economic development project that will drive the activity necessary to pay the public bond debt service through future project-generated and Browns-generated revenues. A solution like this will not only be transformative for Cleveland and Northeast Ohio, but also the entire state of Ohio, resulting from events, tourism, and job creation. That's right. Also, moving the current stadium will allow the city and region's collective vision for the Cleveland lakefront to be optimally realized, and downtown will benefit from the major events in the Brook Park Dome that it brings to this region. Cleveland and Northeast Ohio are the fabric of the Browns, and that will always be the case. Our community commitment to Cleveland and efforts to improve the lives of its residents will not change. We are confident the Brook Park project will significantly benefit the Northeast Ohio region for generations to come. And at the same time, we know that it is critical we remain committed to the best long-term sustainable solution for our stadium and to providing the world-class dome experience our fans deserve. Also, as they said, we recognize our season on the field has not had the start we had all hoped, and we're working hard to improve each week to make our fans proud.
Let's go.
Good synopsis.
Good job out of you.
Thank you.
Very good job. Yeah, I'm excited for it. 2029.
2029.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Anything else we got to touch on here? I think we've done a pretty good job. No. Give as you're of the people on this show predominantly, you, sir, are the one of us who is a true native Clevelander.
Yeah.
Where does that rank for you? Last night,
I was telling the guys it's like a handful of games. A lot of them are when I was with the Cardinals or covering them, or like I remember that I was at the "We'll see you tomorrow night."
Oh wow!
So, like I was there for that. That's a big moment. But from a one side, other side, both closers who are elite getting rocked.
Yeah,
like that's not in the cards. You don't see that. And then like when Naylor grounded in that double play, I'm like, Like there were multiple times in that ninth inning, I'm like, all right, we're done.
Oh yeah.
And then Noel just crushes that ball. By the way, our guy Rafa, if you've not heard
it's
that
so
call,
awesome.
Yep.
singing Feliz Navidad.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And then you go to the 10th and you're like, all right, we had a good top half. If we don't score here, I feel like we're in trouble. The Yankees are going to get one here in the next one. Yeah. We can't let them come back up. And
the only thing that I could think of was Game 7 in 16, Cavs Warriors, because that's for a championship.
Yeah,
that's number one. This one's way up there though. And for baseball goes, just as forget the.
Yeah, I was talking just
baseball. Yeah, just baseball stakes and everything that was online. Yeah, it had checked every
It would
box.
be like if the Rajai Davis home run had led to actually a win.
Well, that would have been the apex.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I got to tell you, I will say, Ron Darling's been doing this for a long time. I think he's excellent. Brian Anderson, the play-by-play guy, was awesome.
He's great.
had
They're great.
some
The three-man
calls.
booth. And who's it? Frank Hoare?
Yeah, Jeff Francoeur. Yep.
They're great.
They're great. Yeah.
I mean, really, no bias, pure emotion.
Yep.
I think they're awesome. Ron Darling is Ron Darling's he's probably the one who's been doing this the longest, right?
Yeah,
I feel like he's been
was
calling big games for a long time. Used to be Buck and Seaver.
Yeah, and then it was Buck and Smoltz.
And Smoltz.
Well, no, yeah, it was
Buck and Brennan. Or
No.
Brenneman?
No.
Not Brenneman.
It was when we were kids, it was Joe Buck and then Tim McCarver.
McCarver. That's
Tim
what I meant.
McCarver.
It's not Seaver.
That's-
McCarver.
that's
It
it.
was
That's what I
Buck and
meant.
McCarver,
Yeah,
and
McCarver.
then I think it was Buck and Smoltz. Did
Yeah,
Smoltz take off, or was there one in between? Because it was always Fox.
McCarver.
McCarver was
That's
our
what- I
youth.
said
It was
Seaver,
McCarver.
I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
McCarver.
Because in the old days, the reason that in the old days, like Jack Buck was, I think CBS. Was it on CBS like in the early '90s with the Kirby Puckett home run? And we'll see you tomorrow night. That's Jack Buck and McCarver, and then Joe worked with Tim. But like Vince Scully was doing it in '88 because a lot of times
NBC.
yeah, right. NBC is the way that worked. But I don't remember if there's anybody
So-
between Jack Buck or Joe Buck and Tim McCarver and Joe Buck and John Smoltz.
Fox always does the World Series.
I don't know if they I think so.
So this says right here, this is list of World Series broadcasters for 24. It'll be Fox, Joe Davis, and John Smoltz. 2021 was Buck and Schmaltz. Davis took over with Smoltz in 22.
when Buck went to ESPN.
Yep. The last time, 15 was Buck with Harold Reynolds and Tom Verducci. 14 and 15 were Harold Reynolds and Tom Verducci. 13 was McCarver. And that
McCarver was forever.
Forever.
So then Reynolds did it for 2 years, and then they got to Smoltz in like 16, like Buck and Smoltz in 16.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, McCarver worked with Jack and Joe.
I mean, McCarver goes all the way back
Got to be like 90.
to because then it was rotating.
Yeah.
But he was with McCarver was with CBS and Jack Buck 90-91, then Sean McDonough at CBS with McCarver 93. Then ABC had games 1, 4, and 5, and it was Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, and Tim McCarver. NBC had games 2, 3, and 6 with Costas, Joe Morgan, and Bob Euchre.
Wow, I don't remember that.
96 Fox, Buck, McCarver, and Bob Brenly.
And that's it.
I remember I was like Brenneman, but not Brenneman.
Bob Brenly, catcher for the Giants. Bob Costas, Joe Morgan, Bob Euchre in 97 with NBC. Fox 98 was Buck, McCarver, and Brenly. 99 NBC, Costas and Morgan. And then in 2000, Fox took it over. And it was Joe Buck and Tim McCarver from 2000 on. But he goes, as I said, back to the first one that I can see with McCarver. Man, 1981 was Howard Cosell and Jim Palmer. 83 was Al Michaels, Howard Cosell, and Earl Weaver. Wow. The first McCarver I see here is an 85, Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, and Tim McCarver.
That's the Royals.
And the field
the
reporter-
Interstate Series with the Cards.
The field reporter was Mr. October.
Reggie Jackson was the field reporter?
Reggie Jackson.
That was because O.J. Simpson did that. He was on the field for the NBC football games. He wasn't in the booth. He was in the field.
And for a while, Vince Scully did it on NBC in 86 and 88 with Joe Garagiola.
God, what a
That's a name from the
what
past.
a group. What a group.
We'll keep it here for a minute because I believe Coach is walking to the media room.
All right, very good. Very good. Yeah.
So I did have Tom Seaver. This was obviously before my time, but Tom Seaver used to do it in the 70s. Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek, and Tom Seaver. And then Keith
Tony
Jackson,
Kubek.
Howard Cosell, and Tom Seaver. Keith Jackson,
Yeah.
Howard Cosell, and Tom Seaver.
Look at the things Cosell did. He's, by the way, Cosell is someone just put him up for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I didn't realize he wasn't in.
He should be.
He should be in. Yeah, but he's not in yet.
Oh, man, how about this? In 74, they would alternate they actually did this from 72
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
to 76. The color guy would alternate based on where the game was. So in 76, it was Garagiola, Tony Kubek, and then in Cincinnati, Marty Brenneman, but in New York, Phil Rizzuto.
Mm-hmm.
In 74, Vince Scully joined Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek in L.A., and Monty Moore, our guy in Oakland, did it in Oakland. And then 73, Lindsey Nelson in New York, Monty Moore in Oakland. 72, Al Michaels in Cincinnati, Monty Moore in Oakland again. That's cool. That seems like that was the way they did it.
Might be a
No,
pretty
that's
smart
how they
way
did
to do it.
That's how they did it from 64 through the late 70s.
Well, and who would know those teams more than those guys who were doing them all the time?
Although this is interesting. 68, Kurt Gowdy, Harry Carey in St. Louis, George Kell in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
How many people realize that? I mean, listen to us. We're so
Harry
old.
Carey.
Like, how many people know who Harry Carey is?
Come on, Harry Carey.
We do, but I mean, like, if you're 28, you don't.
Just watch Will Ferrell. Google.
33, I
Go to
do.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Will Ferrell.
You're a baseball guy, Kevin.
Will Ferrell. Harry Carey.
Yeah.
Harry Carey got to start with the rival Cardinals.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize
Moon
that
looks
either.
like it's made of cheese.
So good.
Sounds like you just walked in. I'm waiting for sound to come through on our end.
All right. It sounds like we're going to be able to go to coach here momentarily. And we'll see where this goes. Here.
All right, I got sound.
All right, here is coach at the podium.
You're down.
Okay, good practice out there. Obviously, beautiful day. Going to be a beautiful day down there on the lake. I'm hearing, so excited to be back in front of our fans. Got to play good football. That's what our focus is. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, you have Nick listed as questionable.
I expect him to play.
I expect him to play.
Yeah.
Same with Naheem?
I'd say we'll see how that goes, but I'd say unlikely with Naheem.
Unlikely?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about Ethan?
Yeah, with a lot of these guys with these injuries, just want to see how they respond to today's practice, so I'd put him in that category.
What did how did you see, I mean, going to Ethan, how did you see his knee, and kind of respond the last couple of days from the treatment and from being back out there in practice?
Yeah, I think he's working really hard. He's battling. He moved around well, so we'll see how he responds to today's practice and how he feels tomorrow, and make a determination from there.
I think the on-field adjustment's been with Barry this week. And just, has there been a lot of movement from guys in maybe bigger roles or moving around more?
I think the guys have done a very nice job understanding what the plan is, where they factor in, where they line up in different formations, if you will. So I thought it was a strong week in that regard.
Did you change anything operationally with the schedule at all this week, just kind of looking to shake things up?
A few things. Not going to share. Yeah, I mean, but that's, it's just part of always looking for a way to do things better. So there's some small things, some big things.
What do you see from the guys? Just we don't get to see behind the scenes, but just as far as mood and just the collective, I guess, feel of the guys, considering where you're at. What do you feel?
Yeah, as you can imagine, Daryl, I don't get too into that. My job is to get these guys ready to play. They're pros. They practice really hard. We're focused on finding a way to win this game. That's really all we're focused on.
Kevin, when we talked to Jim yesterday, he mentioned the quarterbacks thinking they can do more there and just kind of calling them out. I guess how you've seen that group respond and how much higher you think their collective ceiling can be with the start of the year.
We think really highly of that group. That's part of what makes our defense go is that room. I think we got great players in there. I think they battle like crazy, and I think they had a good week of practice.
You said you had to see what Nick Chubb did in this week of practice before you really put him on a pitch count per se.
Right.
Do you guys have a plan now that you see him going?
We do, and it's, talking with Nick, talking with how he feels, and with Deuce, we have a plan in place. And then you have to be ready to adjust based on how Nick is feeling.
When you trade a player like Amari, your number one receiver, how do you expect the offense to look better than it did with him?
I think big focus for us, Mary Kay, is everybody doing their job. Like we talked about earlier this week, it's not one person that gets all of those plays or one person that gets all of those targets, that type of thing. We just need everybody to do their job. We need to put them in position to go make plays, but it's not about one person.
How's Ethan Wilson doing?
How's he doing? Yeah, was out there pushing through it. We'll see how he responds to today's practice, but he's battling.
Did you see enough out of Jordan Hicks to know if he'll be able to go?
Similar. I mean, he's practiced last week as well, so just want to make sure he comes out of everything feeling good.
Kevin, going back to the receivers, Jerry seems like he's ready to embrace this opportunity. So have you seen him kind of practice this week and kind of chase this opportunity, I guess?
Yeah, I think for all those guys, I think it's just important that they do what they're asked to do on a given play. Jerry's a guy that's been reliable for us this season and has made some plays, and certainly there could be more opportunities potentially, but his focus is really just on doing his job.
Michael Dunn said that he has always taken snaps at center, worked on that. Has that workload maybe increased with Nick Harris going on IR and Ethan still dealing with that need?
I think it's important with all offensive linemen. Guards have to be ready to play tackle. Tackles have to be ready to play guard. Centers have to be ready to play guard, et cetera. So Mike Dunn is a very versatile football player for us. He gets snaps every week, and then we have to get him ready to play some guard, and 3 plays later he's back in at center. So you just have to be very, very flexible at that position, both mentally and just the physical part of the technique that adjusts based on which position you're playing.
What is it about this matchup, specific matchup, that seems to have, at least over the last several meetings, it's favored you? What is there something something personnel-wise that a matchup is something that you look at as?
Honestly, we're just focused on this one. It's a really good football team. Good players on both sides of the ball, special teams. I have a ton of respect for their coaches. We have to play good football. That's really our focus.
Do you see Burrow getting rid of the ball faster than you have in the past?
I mean, he's getting rid of it quickly. I don't know what it is relative to previous years, but he makes very quick decisions with the football.
So how do you counter that defensively?
We play a lot of teams that get the ball out quickly, so it's about playing sound football, whether you're rushing or you're covering.
Have you seen any of these receivers step up from a leadership perspective with Amari gone this week?
I mean, it's early in that type of process, if you will. I think it's important that our guys do what's natural to them in that area when it comes to leadership. We have a good group in our leadership committee, if you will. We have good veterans in that room already, so those type of things come naturally.
Coach, were you surprised by the news yesterday the Browns are moving to Brook Park?
I really don't have much to add there. I worry about practice.
Kevin, do you feel like you guys have what it takes? You have the personnel, the scheme, and everything to get those explosives now that you don't have Amari?
I think it's the big thing for us, Mary Kay, is efficient and explosive. Certainly, you're always going into a game searching for ways to get the ball down the field and have those gains that move the ball, and then you got to be efficient as well. So certainly searching for explosives in any game, but you don't want to not be efficient as well.
Do you feel like Deshaun has the accuracy he needs on these explosives? Because sometimes they look kind of off, but maybe that's because the route was off or the whatever.
Yeah, I feel confident in that area. I think he can make all those throws, and I think our guys will make plays for him as well.
The number 80 for them, I think.
For them or us?
For them.
Yeah.
Has he sort of become the new Tyler Boyd in terms of in their offense?
Yeah, they've done a nice job. They're playing some different personnel groupings. They have played with some 2 backs, so they're doing a nice job of trying to keep the defense off balance with different personnel groupings, different formations. It seems that the quarterback trusts all those guys that he's thrown to.
Good.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You're up.
All right, there you go. Coach from the podium. Those are also your hot topics of the day, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Jack Conklin with Z coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Leaf Filter, the official gutter guard of your Cleveland Browns. Go to leaffilter.com/GoBrowns to schedule your free gutter inspection. Receive your exclusive promo offer or call 833-LEAF-FILTER today. And now here is Z with Jack Conklin.
Very happy now to be.
You're down 5 minutes.
Right tackle, two-time first-team All-Pro right tackle, Jack Conklin. Jack, first of all, congrats on making it back. I know that when you went down week one, I'm sure for you it was like, here we go again. A long road to recovery, finally to get back out there. So congrats on making it back. How did it feel?
No, thank you. It felt great. You know, it was just a hurdle. You know, it's been over a year since I've been out there, and just felt great to be back out there with the guys and feel like myself again.
How many plays did it take for you to be like, oh yeah, this is what I do?
Really, probably after the first drop back, just feeling that, you know, and feeling the shots and everything. After that, I settled back in and it felt good.
What did it mean to you, and I'm sure for your family, just to know what you've gone through? And unfortunately, you've had to go through it a few times to go through and then to be back. So I'm sure there are times, and Nick Chubb just wrote that very powerful thing in the Players Tribune, where at times you're like, I don't know if I am going to play again. I don't know what it's going to be like. And also to have the knowledge of, man, this is what I have to do again to go through that. What did that mean to you and your family?
It was huge, especially for my wife. We have 3 kids, and it's a lot on her plate dealing with all the kids, and then me on the couch, not able to do anything, and really just to have her support through the whole thing and have her with me. And she was there at the game to see me come back, and everything. It was a special moment, definitely.
You said one play in, you kind of felt like, yeah, this is what I do. At what point were you able to just think about nothing else and just play?
I think it was just it was really after the first drive. After I got the hits and everything, and then it just felt normal again. It wasn't a scare. It was just, all right, I'm back out here with the guys. We're rolling, and we got work to do.
Was it almost kind of surreal coming in on Monday and watching tape of yourself?
Yes, I've unfortunately watched a lot of tape of other people, which it's great to see the young guys playing well. But it was a great feeling to see myself back out there.
What did you like about what you were able to do, and what are the things you noticed? You're like, all right, this is where I got to keep working.
Yeah, no, there's definitely. I was happy with how I felt, conditioning and moving around, and moved a lot better than I even thought I would. But there's definitely things I got to work on. I can definitely better my hands and some different things. But it's good stuff. It's knocking the rust off. But I definitely felt good.
Hey, you guys didn't look like you got the running game going a little bit. There were some big runs, and I saw some of the traditional kind of zone where you get them running horizontal, and they'd cut right off of your back. That had to be fun getting back into some of those things and seeing this ground game really start to show some of the potential that we all know it has.
Yeah, definitely. No, I love running the ball, and especially the zone scheme. So it felt good getting back out there and running it. And it's a bummer to come out with a loss, but I think we definitely started to build at least something in the run game which we can move forward with.
I got you back last week, Nick Chubb this week, and I'm sure you guys probably spent a lot of time around each other while both of you coming back from these things in the building, waiting for that time. When do we get to get on the field? When do we get on the field? How important is it to have him back?
It's awesome. Like you said, we spent almost every day with each other this offseason and turned into a little bit of a competition, a lot of fun between us. But, I know for him, watching me last week and now for me watching him this week, it's going to be, it's a big moment. We both know what it, how much went into the behind the scenes of getting back, and I can't wait to see him run the ball and be back out there.
You mentioned young guys, and obviously you come in, and DeWand, who came in for you last year, he goes to the bench. What's kind of how do you show your ability to mentor these guys, because you're there, Joel's there, and so all of a sudden you're surrounded by guys that Zach Zinner's thrown right into it as a rookie like DeWand was last year, and keep bringing them along.
I think you just keep trying to, show them little things, and I think the biggest thing is confidence. Just try to keep building it up, because it is tough. I came in as a rookie, Joel too, and had to play, and it's a lot. It's tough coming from college to the NFL. There's a lot of differences, a lot more to the game, and it's really all. I think the biggest thing is confidence. If you get down your confidence, it's a tough road to get it back. So we just try to build them up and keep helping them with little things.
I know there were times where it looked like you might come back and play left tackle, something you hadn't done since 2016. Were you rather pleased that you were able to come back in at right tackle, your normal, comfortable position?
Of course. It's what I've been doing for almost a decade now, and it's definitely what I've honed and the 10,000 hours rule kind of thing. But I'm excited. I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm excited for what we have ahead of us.
All right, what you have ahead of us is Cincinnati Bengals at home, and obviously for you, that probably has a lot of different connotations. When you think about going back and playing in that stadium again, playing against the Bengals again, kind of what's your thought going into it?
I'm not trying not to think too much about that game against the Bengals.
Bad question, Nathan.
But no, it's football. It's the kind of look of the draw with stuff like that. So you just got to go back out there and try to play the best you can. You can't worry about injuries and stuff like that, or else you're going to kind of put yourself in a bad position if you're thinking about that. You just got to go play hard and run your feet and hope for the best.
More of a traditional four-man front, two good ends, Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, people you have experience going against. Is it helpful when you get kind of more of a traditional? Sometimes they'll go into like a jam front look, but for the most part, it is maybe the four down. Is that something that's more helpful for you guys?
Definitely. I mean, we respect their front. Those guys are hard workers and they finish hard, and they're going to be a good challenge for us. But like you said, we do know them well. We played them a lot, and it's going to be a good battle.
I've had a lot of success against them. The Browns have not lost at home to the Bengals since 2017 before you even became a Cleveland Brown. What is it sometimes about those? Like they say styles make the fights. Is this just one where the Browns style just kind of matches up well?
It's a rivalry. I think, we come out and then the city comes out well and supports us. So, we get really excited for this game, and it's for the state of Ohio. So we're excited again this year.
What will it mean to you to run out of that tunnel again?
It'll just be an exciting moment. It'll definitely be an exciting moment, be back in front of the fans and be back in the field.
Family going to be in attendance? Even the young Conklins?
Yep, everybody will be there, and they'll be excited to actually see me out on the field. So
that'll be awesome. Well, we'll be excited to see you out there. Best of luck, Jack. Thanks for the time, and welcome back.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, there you go. Z and Jack Conklin, and Jack back in the mist, and obviously a lot of help done when he is. We'll take some look at some of these matchups. Also have a little bit of a health report in terms of questionables, ins and outs. We will get to that coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
My house has a new.
You guys.
All right, here's where you stand in terms of a Browns injury report news. Nick Chubb questionable. Coach said he will play. Hicks questionable. Hines questionable. Posick questionable. Thornhill questionable. Ford out. Hickman out.
Yeah, I mean, at some point they're going to have to make some decisions in that running back room.
Yeah, you're right. Just numbers wise.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in that room. He said it. Coach said it last night on the coaches show. I mean, with Thornhill, you hope, but he's still working his way back. So
yeah, I would imagine. I know that they don't want to. And by the way, this isn't unique to the Cleveland Browns. Like most NFL teams don't want exactly who's out, who's not known on a Friday, or coaching decisions known on a Friday. An example actually is just playing out right now in Pittsburgh, where Mike Tomlin said they would keep the quarterback decision in-house, and then George Pickens in an open locker room said Russell Wilson's making his first start. Of course, it's Pickens who does it. It sounds like both are going to play, though. But
how much money do you think that guy's been fined in the last 3 weeks by Coach?
As you know, in football and anything, there are two parallel, or if you're watching on the YouTube, two vertical lines. Once the pain in the neck you are outweighs what you bring to the field, then you're done. I would think George Pickens is right on that line. I think he's right there.
I mean, that was in last week's pregame Fact or Fiction. Like, the Steelers are better off without Pickens.
It's got to be getting close. It's got to be getting close. Jonathan Taylor, by the way, not going to play in Indy this weekend either.
Again?
Yeah. So he's
who's going to start at QB?
Sounds like Richardson, doesn't it? It seems like. I mean, the scores made me think it's Flacco. And by the way, Flacco's on Manningcast Monday as well, so maybe. But yeah, that's kind of the way that's going on that side of things.
Thornhill will be one to watch. Great that Delpit's back, especially going up against that Bengals wide receiver group. Looks like Denzel's healthy and good to go. I mean, a lot going to be needed from that corner and DB room on Sunday.
Absolutely. Hey, Dog Pound, dig into Wendy's new Browns Biggie Bundle all season long. Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, junior fries, small soft drink, and a small Frosty for just $7. Here we go, Brownies. Grab one from any participating Wendy's for a limited time. Behind Enemy Lines with Jay Morrison, one of the very best in the business, coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. This is Elk, a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. As we go behind enemy lines with the very best in the business on the Bengals side of things, he is a longtime Bengals beat writer for SI's BengalsTalk.com. He's the great Jay Morrison, and he joins on the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. Jay, thank you so much for taking the time. Obviously, it is DEFCON 1 up here. We need a win in the worst possible way. So, too, do the Cincinnati Bengals. The way that we've gotten to these records, though, very, very different. Is there some feeling in Cincinnati that the win over the Giants being one where the defense finally stood up, that perhaps things are starting to turn in the direction that they more expected them to be at the start of the year?
Yeah, I do. I think that was really big. I think there's still a little angst over how the offense played, because a lot of this Bengals offense is among the league leaders in a lot of the metrics, but they played some really bad defenses with the Ravens aside. So there was a little angst over that, but the defense is what really gave them confidence. And the Giants aren't a great offense, but still, it had been so bad. And to hold a team to 7 points and do what they did to get that win, it was a grind. It felt like an AFC North kind of slugfest. That game did. It was 10-7 till very late. It wasn't just a performance, but they got all their guys back. Last week was the first time all year that they've had their full complement of defensive linemen. So I think that getting healthier on the D-line and then just finally putting together a strong defensive performance has built a little bit of momentum going into this game.
You talked about the offense. Joe Burrow, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks, leading the league in rating, 71.6 career high completion percentage. What are they doing, if anything, differently this year that is leading to the kind of success that he is having?
So they for the last 5 years of Zach Taylor's tenure here, they led the league, or they were second in 11 personnel. It was always 3 wide receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. They have pivoted away from that. They drafted a pair of tight ends. Now, one of them's not played yet, but Eric All, who they got from Iowa, has just been a massive surprise, and he is a physical presence in the run game. And so they're playing with 2 tight ends, and they're going under center more. They're using play action more, and they're leaning into this run game more. They traded Joe Mixon with the idea of trying to get more explosive in the run game. Zach Moss hasn't quite given them what they thought they would get when they signed him in free agency, but Chase Brown, who they drafted last year, is one of the league leaders in explosive runs, and they've just gradually kind of increased his role. Last week was the first week we saw them give him more of the workload than Zach Moss, and so that's really created some things for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and even second-year wide receiver Andre Yoshibas in the passing game. And you take advantage of these light boxes and hit defenses with the runs. All of a sudden they start creeping up, and Joe Burrow just knows where to go with the ball. You said it, 2 interceptions, great passing for completion percentage. He's just picking defenses apart.
This is the best start to his career, right, Jay? Start to a season for Joe? Yeah.
I mean, he's second in the league in touchdown passes, and he didn't even throw one last week against the Giants. It was only the second time in Burrow's career that he didn't throw a touchdown pass, and they still won.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in his availabilities, and I really noticed it after the Ravens loss and then certainly the Chiefs loss, like the frustration of the results not being there. And I know that he's going, boy, we're up until last week doing everything that you want to do offensively, but we're not getting there. There is a great sense of pressure around this Bengals team, is there not? Because you think about perhaps definitely the last incarnation of this. I mean, you're not going to have T. Higgins next year. So, there is pressure for this to get right quickly. Do you sense that around the building, that time is running short?
Yeah, and not so much the big picture where the Super Bowl window and this year being the last best chance, but more so just that they're used to digging early holes. We've seen it a lot. This one was worse, and they know that the margin of error is gone. I mean, you lose this game to Cleveland 2-5, there may be no coming back from that. So I think that's more where the urgency is coming from, is just more in the micro sense of this season specifically. The 1-4 start, they get to 2-4 last week. They know that they've got some winnable games ahead of them. Cleveland, you guys well aware, 1-5. They've got the Raiders coming up. They got a big one with the Eagles next week. But there's a good chance they could be 4-5, 5-4 going into that Thursday night game against Baltimore, and that could really kind of propel their season.
What do you make and what do the Bengals make of their struggles with the Cleveland Browns? Burrow 1-5. The Browns have won 6 straight at home over the Bengals. What's kind of the talk around that? I know styles make the fights, and maybe it's just that simple, but it's surprising that's been the case here since 2017.
Yeah, I mean, it's been this defense's inability to stop the run, and Nick Chubb in particular, and I think that's got everybody a little worried this week seeing that guy come back. They've tried to, in the trenches, it's not just the Browns. Like, they've really struggled against the AFC North, even though they won a couple of division titles in 01 and 21 and 22, but they just haven't matched up well, and they've beefed up the offensive line and really gone bigger there and trying to be more physical in the trenches. The defense, they lose DJ Reader, who was a great run stopper. I mean, they couldn't stop Nick Chubb with DJ Reader, and then he goes to Detroit. They drafted a couple of defensive tackles in the second and third round, but Chris Jenkins, the second-round pick, broke his thumb. He missed the first 2 games. McKinley Jackson injured his knee early in camp, and he's just come back. He played 9 snaps 2 weeks ago. He played 20 last week, so he's just kind of doing that toe dip, getting into it. But I think that's been the big issue with defending the Browns, and they just get run on every time they play them. And last year, the game up the opener, Burrow wasn't healthy at all. It was just an ugly game in the rain. It just seems like there's a little bit of different circumstance each one of these losses, but the one common theme is they've just not been able to stop the Cleveland running game.
Jay, one thing that's been consistent of this Zach Taylor regime and Burrow, the other part of it has been Lou Anarumo's defenses, and obviously, as we've discussed, it's not gone well. They think perhaps maybe they turned a corner with the game against New York last week. Big picture, though, are there some fixes? Are there some things that they're doing to try to shore up and at least be more middle of the road defensively than as opposed to bottom of the league stuff?
Yeah, there's been the tackling's been really bad, and they always talk about that's an easy fix, and it's like, well, if it's an easy fix, why hasn't it been fixed? It's been going on all year, but that did seem to get a lot better last week against the Giants. That was probably their best tackling game of the year. The Giants didn't have a single pass play over 15 yards. The Bengals just sat back, kept everything in front of them, and they were able to rally and get guys down. The other thing is the defensive line and having so many guys missing so much time. They were getting pressure from nobody. It was Trey Hendrickson, who's been fantastic, but no other pressure. And now you've got Sheldon Rankins back and B.J. Hill and Miles Murphy, their first-round pick last year. Sam Hubbard was injured. He's getting healthier. He played his best game last year. So just getting healthier on that line and being able to pressure the quarterback. They're still really young in the secondary. It looks like they might have whiffed. They went out and got Geno Stone from Baltimore, and he's just been really bad. He's missed a lot of tackles. He hasn't come up with an interception, which is one of the reasons they went to get him to be a ball hawk. Von Bell's getting older. They're starting to kind of pivot away and work in a younger safety there and split some time with Von. So there's issues at the back end, and there's issues at the front end, but the front end looks like it's coming along. And the good thing, I don't think they worry about the back end as much going against this Cleveland offense and what Deshaun Watson has put on tape so far this year.
I was going to ask you about that. Geno Stone, 8 career interceptions, 7 of them last year with Baltimore. You mentioned the young corners, Cam Taylor-Britt, DJ Turner. How have they performed this season?
Yeah, it's a shame. Dax Hill started off. He won that job over DJ Turner. He played safety last year. They did the position change, did everything he wanted, and he tore his ACL in the Baltimore game. So now it's DJ Turner, and he played well. He put up a fight against Dax in camp, and so he's played well. Cam Taylor-Britt's the enigma. He was one of those guys that played well as a rookie. Last year really looked like he was coming on. It felt like he was ready to break out as a star in this league.
Yep.
And it just hasn't been there. He's been really bad. Now, he still tackles well, but he's been really bad in coverage, and they actually benched him at a time for DJ Turner in the Carolina game a couple weeks ago. But it was more a technique issue, and he was getting caught peeking in the back and trying to jump routes and trying to get those splash interceptions, and he seems to have kind of worked himself out of that. So it's coming back around. But yeah, that's some of the things you're going to have to live with when you have a young secondary.
Jay, what's your read on this one? We'll get you out of here on this. What's your read on what goes down Sunday up here? Do you get pretty confident from a Bengals perspective that they put the ill will up here in the rearview mirror?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be hard to outscore that Cleveland offense, but I don't think we're going to see. I think we're going to see this Bengals offense look more like they did against the Giants than they did the weeks before. I think they move the ball, but I do think they're Myles Garrett and company are going to put pressure on Burrow. They're going to make it really hard. I think there's going to be much more field goals from the Bengals than touchdowns, and so I've got them. I've got the Bengals winning this 19-14.
All right, very good. Always good talking to you, my friend. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, that's the great Jay Morrison behind Enemy Lines, of course, of Sports Illustrated, joining on the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. Coming up next, a little higher, lower, your keys to the game, your Sunday forecast. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, smooth, real brewed tea, 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea, keep it twisted. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. Should we do over-unders first? Yeah, let's do over-unders first.
Yep. Let's not delay.
All right, time for a little over and under. We have a change, kids.
There's a new sheriff in town, boys, and you're looking at him.
Dr. Z with a robust, the best stretch we've had all season, a robust 4-1.
I went back-to-back weeks at 4-1.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah. Like, how about a little love?
Can I get
Let's
a little
not try to seal.
is this the
yesterday's
Yankee
news,
broadcast,
Gibby.
or is this a down the middle fair and balanced?
That's yesterday's
No, I have
news.
no interest.
That's
Yeah.
yesterday's news, Gibby. What have you done for me lately?
Gibby, I literally look on the sheet because I have it on this pad. Last week you went 4-1. Not even accurate.
Let's not get distracted.
Z went 4-1. Gibby 1-4. So what was once a 2-game lead is now a 1-game deficit. Z,
all right.
you are
It's early.
15-16. Gibby is 14.
I got plenty of time to screw this up more.
Straighten the chairs up there.
Well, that's the way. It's what happens. It's got to be clean. Got to. All right, here we go. Z, you are first.
Under.
We are looking
My
for.
feel's back, baby.
We are looking for a quarterback
Oh, you
rating.
lost to guess the scores the other day.
A quarterback rating for Joe Burrow. A quarterback rating for Joe Burrow of 100.5. 100.5.
Used to do
Under.
Oh my gosh.
Used to
Under.
That was a radio station I worked for. 100.5 WYMG.
Wow, that sounds like big voice guy.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was big voice.
By the way,
yes.
career rating against the Browns for Joe Burrow, 86.
Yep. This season he has been under 100 only once.
Yeah,
Gibby?
I will go under as well.
Under. Okay. All right. Very good. Next.
Thanks for the stat. I mean,
Over. Under.
All right. It's a 2-for-1. Gibby, this one's for you. Receiving yards. Jamar Chase, over under, Judy and Chief. Jerry Judy and Chief. Or Jamar Chase. Chase has struggled against us historically.
yeah, Denzel locking him down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with David and Jerry.
All right, so under.
For 200, Alex.
Okay. Dr. Z? I know you're going under.
Same.
All right. Be funny if you just went same with him like the rest of the season and won by one game.
Well, I can only control a couple a week.
Yeah, but
let's not forget, in one of the great moments in this show's history, Gibby was down, I think, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And kept going same as me.
Yes, instead of
you have no chance.
Chasing. Yeah.
What was last week's one? Because like the week before, it was like
when you got right.
It was like a half a yard that separated us.
Yeah, it was. You know, I didn't look into it.
It was
I think it was a boat racing.
It was a blowout.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
All right, you get next.
Over. Under.
This one I didn't even know the number to put. Z, this one's for you. It's Nick Chubb carries. Actually, I'm going to change it to Nick Chubb touches. Nick Chubb touches 11.5.
Over. My number was 12.5 yesterday. So
We did
Was
have
it
that
really?
meeting,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
What would total touches?
Total touches 11.5.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm going over. Let's
go.
I don't want to,
Cruising,
but we talked about this last week.
You guys
Yesterday.
do-
I would be going
I
against.
don't even know what would be the number that I would be. I think it's you did 12.5 yesterday, and I did 11.5.
Yeah.
So we're in the same realm.
If you said 15.5, I probably would have said under. I don't think he will touch it more than 15 times.
My hunch is my gut would say 10 carries,
And then one
and then
or 2 catches.
that's how I got to that number. But I don't.
I don't
know.
anticipate a lot of catches.
I could just see like a
Yeah,
dump
but
or
it's
whatever.
the
Yeah,
it's the
not gonna
back
be
door.
much.
It's the backdoor dunk.
Yeah. Next.
Over. Under.
All right, sacks, interceptions, and fumbles. Burrow has his struggles. We know that certainly here. The number we are looking for, Gibby, is 3.5.
Over.
Dr. Z?
That's right.
Over 2?
Yeah.
We need
So it won't be
we
one
need
difference.
this number. Although it's going to be a little different than last year when there was one cloud in the state of Ohio over the stadium.
Yeah,
when
it's going
we
to be
played.
pristine.
It's going to be pristine.
Yeah, we're 70, right? 70 and sunny?
Yep.
All right, next.
Over.
We're going to be the same on all 5 of these.
The actual 41.5. Gibby? Or is this Dr. Z? It's Dr. Z. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Same.
I'm as a friend.
You know what?
You're
I
supposed
will.
to be
I will to be
unbiased.
different. I will to be different. You know what? Hey, you got to prove me wrong.
Can we? I don't.
I'll take the under. Fine.
If
I've
it's
been burned
over,
on this
can
all
we
year.
win?
Yeah.
No,
I think we
not
have
based
to
on
score
what we've seen.
8 points to win.
I tend to think I'm more like Morrison. I think you could win an ugly
I'm
one.
in. I'll go under.
17-14.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Bo.
Well, see
You
if
can
you,
blame
see if
me
you
if it
say
goes
that on
wrong.
Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
I
You
like the
you
under.
might have said
Prove
like
me
that.
wrong.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, I just
Dude, that's who good. That's who you are. You're the show me state. You're Missouri Gibbon.
Show me State, Missouri.
Yeah.
He did thrive in Missouri.
He did.
I did. Boy, did I.
As soon as you asked about the great baseball games I've ever seen, he immediately went right back.
My
Did
one
you-
buddy's like, "You're not a Guards fan." I
Hey,
was
went
like,
right to the
"I
St. Louis
wasn't
Cardinals."
for innings 8 and 9 last night, but I was back.
I'm back, baby. In Missouri, do they call it Missouri or Missouri?
Depends on what part of Missouri you're in.
Okay.
You know where I'd like to spend some time?
Tell me.
Where?
The Lake of the Ozarks.
It's pretty creepy, I think.
I
mean, that
tell
show
you-
changed it for me. I don't know that it would
There's
ever
some
be
good golf out there.
I bet there is.
Really good.
Yeah, what's the one that's is it a Pete Dye?
Oh, there's some really good one there.
Yeah, there's one that's got a crazy. Actually, did Tiger do that one where it's got that crazy finishing
think it is
hole?
Tiger,
That's
yeah.
with the rock panoramic.
You think it's creepy?
50, a lot of
After
55 and
Ozarks?
older. Actually, it could be.
After the show Ozark?
I didn't think it was necessarily creepy. I mean, we're talking about
I just think you could get away with anything in those woods.
that's possible.
Like you were in Atlanta. Like there were places I am not saying that Lake of the Ozarks is the deep south, but I think it has some similarities. There were places when I would go cover high school football in South Georgia and North Florida.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, I could easily disappear and no one would know for
Nobody
a
would
month.
know. No.
Especially in those days.
Now, when we would drive as college kids
Oh,
from
to, like,
Atlanta
yeah.
to Florida, like you did not stop. You could
And
get
that's
out
on, buddy, that's on I-75.
Yeah, you could get out in Cordell, which was the watermelon capital of the world.
Yeah.
And they had every fast food place, but that was it. And then it was straight shot until you got down to like Tampa.
That's baby stuff alongside of the back roads, brother.
No, I know.
You hit some of those.
No, I'm well aware.
All right, your Sunday forecast, Huntington Bank Field, kickoff a high of 67 and sunny. Should be Bluebird, should be perfect. A perfect game for football. Time for the keys to the game, and for that, we go to Dr. Z.
All right, first key to the game.
Yep.
We have got to get out to a fast start. We cannot play this game chasing from behind. We need to play this game with the lead. We've talked about it. One of the most stupefying stats I've seen in that unbelievably hard-to-read Cincinnati Bengals weekly release was that they are 7-33 under Zach Taylor when trailing at the half. 7
Yeah, that's crazy. with
and
Burrow.
33. So I'm not a mathematician. That's almost you have a 5-1 chance to win if you were ahead at the half against them historically. So let's do that. Key number 1. Key number 2, you're probably going to have to turn him over. I mean, when you look at your successes, it's turning Joe Burrow over. 8 giveaways in 6 games against the Browns. He's 1-5. So I think that's going to be very, very important. And then the third key to the game in this one is you've got to score. For too long, we haven't scored until we scored, and we have not scored.
I was praying you would do that.
Because
I
you don't
wanted
score.
You to do it. That's all I wanted.
Till you score.
Come on, Ostreicher.
Till you score.
Come on.
We got to score. We've got to score the football.
East Great Falls Lacrosse.
That's so great. The assistant coach was one of the best castings ever. He was perfect. He was the 2 best assistant coach castings of all time were that and that the guy from Dazed and Confused who said that like his grandmother could run faster than them.
Yes. Very, very solid. All right, there you go. Boost your game day this season with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Place your first bet at $25 or more. Get $150 back in bonus bets. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Speaking of scoring until you're scoring, the scores coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans, check out Vivid Seats for the official fan experience packages to this season's home games. When you purchase seats in the Vivid Seats Terrace experience, you also score pregame field passes, all-inclusive food and beverage, and more. Visit vividseats.com today to learn more. And now it is time for a little segment we like to call Do Pay Attention to the Scores.
Because we're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. Combined 8 games over 500. Both of us 10-4 a week ago. Self high five.
You're welcome.
Boom.
Kids, you get to go to college. You get to go back to college.
Already 1-0 on the week.
Did we make that public? Like the one guy who, did we talk about that on the show? The guy who followed us and crushed?
I did, yeah.
We talk about that?
At UH?
I can't remember if it was a,
was
it
pre-Amari.
Oh, God. What happened? What a wild, what
Been a
quiet
long
little,
week.
A very quiet little Tuesday.
That was Tuesday.
It was a little Tuesday. Yeah. Who followed us and crushed.
Crushed. Good for
God
him.
bless you. God bless.
That's right.
Like that. People helping people.
By the way, going.
So I connected Ciliano with somebody who ended up getting him a ticket for the game last night. He had a great time. And he was like, oh, I owe you dinner or whatever. I'm like, no, you don't. And I just wrote back, it's people helping people.
People helping people, man.
So when you said that, it made me laugh.
The Guardians Yankees stat, by the way, we were talking about earlier. The Yankees are now 172-2 in postseason history when leading by multiple runs entering the 9th inning. Their lone losses last night, and then the walk-off single in Game 3 of the 2022 ALDS by Oscar Gonzalez.
Man,
of your Cleveland Guardians.
I was trying to explain to the kids. So when Weaver was in last night, what actually got it started was Clase, when Clase came in. And they brought them both in the 8th, which is interesting. But I was trying to explain to the boys about Mariano Rivera. And the sense of finality that came with Enter Sandman and that little skinny dude walking out and then nothing. And a lot of times it wasn't like he would necessarily just strike them all out, but like a lot of it was like first pitch swinging, lazy ground ball to Jeter, easy throw over. I mean, it really was just done. It was just done, except for the year where I think everyone was rooting for them when in 01 when the Diamondbacks got to him. But like for the most part, like if he was in, it's done, lights out.
That's how Eck was.
Eck was like that, yeah. And Rivera was the first unanimous Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like not Cal Ripken. Like,
Ever?
Yeah.
Not Willie Mays?
No.
Who voted against
Not
Willie
Babe
Mays?
Ruth. Not Babe Ruth.
Not a guy named Cy Young?
No. Not unanimous.
He probably ticked off
baseball writers.
Some writer that said, nope, I'm
He's
not
going to
putting
wait
him on
a
the
second
first ballot.
turn.
That's
but
outrageous.
Rivera was the first unanimous.
Ricky Henderson's got to be a Hall of Famer, right? He wasn't first ballot.
Yes.
How's he not first ballot?
No, unanimous.
Unanimous.
Not first ballot.
Not first ballot.
Unanimous.
I'm sorry. How is he not unanimous? How is Ricky Henderson not
The
unanimous?
way you said that, though, was like Ricky Henderson's got to be a Hall of Famer.
Ricky Henderson ticked off a lot of beat writers.
Ricky Henderson was probably the greatest baseball player in our youth.
I know he played for the A's.
But he was an A.
He's great.
The best leadoff hitter ever.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
Yeah, the snatch catch.
He was so cool.
If he
the
got
Mizuno
on,
gloves were just
oh my goodness, with the
bright green.
The bright green. If he got on first base, it was like a triple.
Forget it.
It was a triple.
Forget
he was
it.
basically on third.
Awesome.
Here's the thing.
Awesome.
Like, we talk about Mariano Rivera, but, like, Mariano Rivera was the setup man when he first started to John Wetland, who was
You're right.
pretty lights out in his own
He would
right.
do the 8th.
Yeah.
You're right. That's right.
Like,
That's
if it got to the 8th, you were done.
That's
It
it.
did not matter
No.
anything else.
Nope. Yeah.
All right.
I
let's
can't
get
believe Willie
to it.
Mays wasn't a unanimous Hall of Famer.
Babe Ruth.
I can't believe that.
Like
Mickey Mantle?
Not.
Joe DiMaggio?
Not.
Stan the Man Musial?
No.
How's this possible?
Mariano Rivera.
Ken Griffey Jr.? The kid?
Not. Well, I don't know. Rivera was the first unanimous. There may have been others since, but Rivera was the first unanimous.
It's crazy.
Yeah. 1-0 on the week.
Yeah, we are.
1-0 on the week.
We won last night. Nice job out of us.
By the way,
Yes.
that was such a, and I realized they were doing it for Peyton's return. That's why it got Thursday night. But the Saints
Crud.
are playing their B team.
Yeah.
Worse than that. By the way, I went down a rabbit hole this morning. I think one popped up, and I ended up watching probably a grand total of 8 minutes of video, but 4 like 2-minute clips of Rattler on that show. What an absolute jerk.
Yeah,
I can't believe that some of the guys didn't
most-
punch him. What they were like,
I can't believe it.
Take it. They're like, dude,
I can't believe.
How about you
Oklahoma-
lift me up as a teammate? And he's like, no, dude, you suck.
Yeah, he's brutal. He was absolutely brutal.
He's like,
on
now
that.
you're gonna cry like a little girl.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah, terrible. So unlikable. I think it's hurt him.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
I can't root for him.
No.
I hate to hold mistakes against people but like, there was a level of consistency and like not even when he got called on it, it wasn't like he was like, you know what, I could be a better teammate. I could be a nice. He's like, no, you should be better.
Yeah.
And then I won't have to tell you suck.
Yeah, he's bad. He's bad.
Not a fan.
Nope.
Week 7 of the scores in the National Football League. We kick things off Sunday morning, 9:30. Hoff, Chris Rose. London.
Yeah, Hoff, Chris Rose.
Who gets
and Sam
hurt
Weiss.
here?
What a
Patriots playing Jacksonville.
Weiss?
Jacksonville, technically the home
Steve
team.
Weiss.
I did that to Steve once on the show when he joined us.
You called him Sam Weiss?
I called him Sam.
Well,
yes, you
Bengals,
did. I was here for that.
It's
Yeah,
Browns
yeah.
Bengals week.
Yeah, I had Sam.
And
on
Sam
that.
Weiss.
Yeah.
Sam had unkind things to say about the fair
I
Sam.
forgot about that. It is Patriots, Jags. Maybe the worst game of the week. At least
bad.
the ugliest one. Bo Bishop, kick us off here for week 7.
I don't know if Jacksonville should be favored by 6 over anyone. And yet, 4 drop touchdowns last week. They've been there for a week. They've been home. You could argue that New England's got much worse things going on their sidelines than even Jacksonville does. I'm just going to go with a hunch here. I got Jacksonville, and I got them winning 21-14.
I'm with you. And when a 1-5 team is a 6-point favorite,
Just what?
you listen.
Yeah, you got to listen.
Jags, 974. New England, 1.
Oh, blowout. It's
Blowout.
big, it's substantial.
Peterson may still get fired even after the
He
win.
might, yeah.
There are a couple really fun 1 o'clock games that I wish were later on in the day. However, they are not. To the NFC Norris Division, Detroit has won 3 in a row. They are 4-1 on the road at unbeaten Minnesota. A 1 o'clock kick. Nathan Zagura.
Do we have any idea for the Vikings if Aaron Jones is questionable. TJ Hawkinson is questionable as well.
Did his window open this week or was it
no,
the week
he's in his
before?
second week. He has
Okay.
one more week. So it's hard to know if they're going to be at full strength. Sometimes I would normally say this feels like they're begging me to take Detroit, and they probably are. Their blitz makes me nervous for Goff, but I think at the end of the day, they're just the more talented team.
Yeah.
So I got the Lions winning this one outright.
Same.
DLD.
Let's
We've been summoned
go.
there. Listen, we were
Yeah,
also
Grayson
great
gear?
with MVD too. I mean, we are
really
two of our
was.
great tours.
Yeah.
But I got the Lions win this one outright. 49-40.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Detroit's steamrolling right now. I think Minnesota's a really quality team and a good team, but Sam started to kind of turn the corner the wrong way last time out. I like Detroit big as well.
Up next, another good one here, across division, cross conference, I guess you could say. Houston is 5-1 on the year. They've won 3 in a row. They are 2-1 away from home, and they are on the road visiting the land of cheese curds and spotted cow beer. The Green Bay Packers at 4-2, winners of 2 in a row. Bo Bishop.
Yeah, I obviously like CJ a lot. I do think the loss of Nico Collins is one that will be felt this week, and I think Green Bay paid the price the previous week by playing Jordan Love to get what they got last week. I like Green Bay relatively comfortably. I'm going to go Green Bay 34, Houston 27.
Same. Not only no Nico Collins, as many as 5 defensive starters out in this game for Houston as well. I like the Pack. I've liked them preseason. Go Pack, go. Packers by $1 billion.
This one, I don't know what the Colts are doing. Yellowstone, get him on the phone. Jonathan Taylor out again.
Jonathan Taylor's out.
Again.
But
Anthony Richardson will start at quarterback.
He will?
That's according to Rap Sheet. So Richardson set to start at quarterback, and the Yellowstones at 3-3 on the football season, playing host to the Miami Dolphins, who are 2-3. Achane has cleared protocol, and he thinks he's playing on Sunday. Maybe that's a little boost for the Miami fans of the world. Nathan Zagura, what say you? Miami at Indy.
If I had to pick one game this week for you to not follow on because I have no read, it's this one. I don't know. I have no idea. I know I'm going to go, but I really.
Mike McDaniel, I think,
just
is
don't know.
smart. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game coming off their bye. They've got Waddle. They've got Hill. They've got the talent.
Yeah.
So I like them. I like them catching a few, and I think they win this one outright. I got the Dolphins righting the ship a little bit here in a barn burner, 24-17.
So, if Flacco were starting, Indy.
But he's not.
But he's not. And Richardson will throw it to the other team. And I'm with you. I'll just take McDaniel and the brains and figure they had to get something figured out offensively.
In 2 weeks, yeah.
To win kind of an ugly game without Jonathan Taylor. And I think Richardson throws him the ball a couple of times. I like Miami too.
Listen, this is your coach of the year.
But
this is your preseason coach of the year. You need him to show his mettle in this game.
Yeah, it didn't go to script.
No, not thus far.
Miami. No, not.
Up next, this one all about the storylines. Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley back to New York to take on the New York Football Giants. Giants are 2-4. Philly 3-2. Their coach still fighting with fans. Fans having about enough of that guy. I don't know what to make of this one. It should go a certain way. Will it, though, Bobish?
No Thomas on the front now. He's done for the year with the Liz Frank injury. He's one of the best left tackles in the sport. That's going to be a big problem in terms of them trying to protect Dan Dimes. And I think the Saquon revenge game goes big.
And then Malik Neighbors clears concussion protocol, but then shows up on the injury report same day with like a groin or something. I don't know what he's doing.
I like Philly by $1 billion. Philly by $1 billion.
Same.
All right. That's simple, kids. To the NFC we go. Actually, we stay in the NFC. Seattle, 3-3 on the football season. 0-3 in the conference, though. They've lost 3 in a row. Seattle visiting the ATL. Atlanta, 4-2. They've won 3 in a row. Nathan, you're up.
I'm going to flock with the Falcons. I
don't like
team.
that we're seeing all these the same.
I like
maybe
Kirk Cousins.
Maybe we're in lockstep.
Last week we went 10-4
each, and we saw a lot of the same. I know
we had 9 the same.
I know.
I had one different than you did.
Yeah,
that was it.
I like the ATL as well. I think Seattle. I asked last week, what is Seattle? You said they're a fun team, but not a good team, and I think that's right. I think Atlanta's trending to be a good team. I like the Falcons too.
It's interesting. Atlanta 2-2 at home, 2-0 away, 3-0 against the division, 4-0 against the conference. Seattle 0-1 in the division, 0-3 in the conference. So some significant tie-breaking points at stake in that game on Sunday. Back to the AFC we go. The Tennessee Titans 1-4 on the football season, taking on the 4-2 Buffalo Bills. New wide receiver Amari Cooper makes his Bills debut. Let's see. Bo Bishop, you're up.
The Bills have not been home in a month. They played 3 straight road games. The last time they were at home against a bad team, it was Jacksonville, and the score was 47-10. This is a huge number.
Yeah.
They're going to have a guy in 18 who's going to catch the ball when Josh throws it his way. Bills by $1 billion. House.
It feels too easy. Almost
it's big, though, dude.
It feels
it's
too
big.
easy.
That's a big number. Biggest one of the week.
If it was big number to me, it would have been 1 more point. That would have been a big number to me. This doesn't feel like that big of a number. Everybody in the world is on the Bills, and so this will be our first diversion.
You're going to roll with Levis in the Mayo.
Calvin Ridley's very unhappy. They got to
Mayo
showcase DeAndre Hopkins a little bit in garbage time. Bills, 9,000.
Will Levis can get it a back door?
Bills, 9,000. It's Will Levis.
Is it him or his girlfriend?
Mayonnaise.
Or a bottle of
8,995.
Oh, God.
I don't know what to make of that. What just happened? The 4 o'clock games leave a lot to be desired, except for one.
Do you guys think this is just like we know that we can't beat it, so just throw junk out?
Yep. That's exactly what this is. Because there's a couple 1 o'clock games that would make for good late-day games if you put them on. Instead, you're subjected to this. Carolina has been outscored by 100 points through the first 6 games of their football season.
Good?
Carolina is 1-5. They are on the road at 4-2 Washington. Washington, a tough loss last week at the hands of the Ratbirds. Nathan, you're up.
Carolina's averaging 22 PPG with Dalton at quarterback. I could see the Washington throwing up 30. They get to their average. We're right there. I think they're going to do. Deontay Johnson's playing well. I think they do enough to get in the number. I think Washington's comfortable. But the Red Rifle, he gets inside the number. Commanders 80, Panthers 73.
Last week I rolled that way with the Red Rifle, and then he couldn't get it done. He got to the precipice but couldn't come through. I think the goodwill is done there. I'm going to go. I thought even in a loss, they played pretty well last week.
They're good.
I like Commies. I like the Commies by 10.
I think the reality is we'll probably split those 2 games.
That's what I think too.
Up next, the 4 o'clock games. Vegas 2-4. Are we counting down the end to Max Crosby's time in Vegas? Is he next?
I don't think so.
I don't know what's going on. Vegas is a complete mess. 2-4. It makes me sick. We lost to them. They are in Los Angeles to battle the L.A. Rams. Ramit is 1-4 on the year, and they have injuries galore. Bo Bishop.
Is Cooper Kupp back in this game?
I think so.
I saw that he was practicing a little bit, but I don't. Questionable per Andrew Siciliano.
All right.
I feel like for Mr. Siciliano, we should get a little more
this
definitive.
A little bit more of a read on this, Mr. Siciliano. I mean, on all your beach walks.
Guys plugged in.
I mean, come on, man. Listen, last 2 times out for the Las Vegas Raiders, house calls, 34-18, 32-13. That was against Broncos and Steelers, 2 better teams at this Rams team. But I think with the week off, the Rams have come back a little bit refreshed. The number for who they are, it seems too big, so I'm just going to think they must know things. I like the Rams winning this one relatively comfortably.
Stafford versus Aiden O'Connell. Ram it.
The end. Ram it.
The big one in the 4 o'clock window, the Fighting Pedros hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch of the Super Bowl. San Francisco 3-3. They get off the schneid, get a big win last week. Kansas City is 5-0 on the football season. Chiefs at Niners. Zagura.
Nate, today I've turned 74, and all I want for my birthday. Appropriate.
Almost 3/4 of a century out of
all I want for my birthday is the Niners to get a big win. So I can't go against my dad and his wishes. By the way, if this line were KC -4, I'd be more inclined to go on the Chiefs, but because it's not, I won't. Niners, watch me eat some money.
What's the birthday meal? What's he having?
He's in Paso.
When does he come here?
Whining and dining.
Oh, beautiful.
But when does he come here?
I don't think he's going to this year. He said with his current health situation, he doesn't want to get on an airplane.
Too big of it. Well, fly him out. Get him a little PJ.
Well, that would be an airplane.
You PJ him, though.
Still an airplane.
You have that
but then he
ability.
doesn't worry about it.
I don't want to be far from Kaiser, he said.
I don't want to be. Okay. Everything in the world tells me to take San Francisco here. It all does. I think the line should be a little bit more in their way, considering all the injuries with Kansas City.
But
Mahomes, when he is 3
go
or
against
less, he's like 1,000,000,001.
You gonna go against
He's been
him?
an underdog like 1,000,000,000 times. It's crazy. He hasn't really played that long of a career for him to be an underdog that many times. But when he is, he wins. So I'm going with the kid. I'm going with Kansas City. They win it outright.
Sunday Night Football, real quick, in our final 30 seconds. The Pukers hosting the Jets. Renegade. Russell Wilson's debut? According to his wide receiver, it is happening. Bo Bishop.
That's just amazing that George Pickens breaks the news. like
That guy does
Unfiltered.
not care
that guy's
at
a
all.
maniac. He's an
A
absolute
menace.
maniac. I think the real problem here is going to be Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt, and they are going to pound Aaron Rodgers and get him home a lot. I do think he throws a couple touchdowns and probably one to Adams. I like the Steelers winning this one 9-6.
Boy, you mentioned we were like seeing it all the same,
Now
and
it's
now it's
all-
just totally different. I think they're losing because they're starting Russell Wilson. So I think they're losing. Jets 2, Steelers 0.
There you go. We'll do our game coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Hey, let's go Guards. Let's get it done. 8:08
Let's
tonight on 850 ESPN Cleveland right here. You can listen Sunday on the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network. Browns Game Day, Ken Carmen, Gerard Cherry. Cleveland Browns kickoff show with Andy and Tyvis. And then 1 o'clock kickoff from Huntington Bakefield. Z, Andrew, Gerard on that. Browns, Bengals.
30.
Nick Chubb is back. Let's go.
Let's go. Gotta have it. It's time. Gotta have it. Browns 26. Bengals 24.
15.
Let's go. Come
Let's go.
on.
Hey,
Come on.
hey.
Hey. Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Next level's coming up next. Thanks for listening, buddy. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.